Okay, so for this last part, we are going to go through and create different colors. Now in class, what we're going to do is we're going to like get our sketch. We're going to print it out. We'll kind of like color this in by hand to get a sense of like what colors go where. I'm going to assume that we've already done that for this video. So here's what we need to do from the technical side of things. Once we figure out what colors go with what, we are going to start making some sketches. So I'm going to make a sketch here. We're going to create a sketch. Let's see. And what I want to do here is I'm going to first, you see my sketch name here. Actually, I should have some good habits. I'm going to go back into my original sketch and say full design. In this sketch, I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to say something like, I'm going to say for this one, it's going to be birch. I don't think we have birch for this one, but just whatever. It's a name. It's a type of wood. What we can do for that is we want to say P for project. I think you can also, I think it's also in create, if I'm not mistaken, project. We can say project. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get all the stuff that should be birch, and we are going to include it into this particular sketch. So I'm going to get rid of the full design so I just have access to these bodies. And here, let's say I want to make birch is kind of like a lighter wood. So I'm going to say something like, I think this background, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to make the clouds should all be birch. And then maybe also I'm going to say like the front door should be birch. I'm just selecting all the things that should be a particular color. We'll say all those are going to be a particular color. We say OK. And now we have this birch. We have a sketch birch. If we hide all these, we can just look just particularly at this. I'm going to get rid of canvas too, make sure I got nothing but the birch. Here we go. We have, in this birch, we just have access to this. I think that we're getting, I think this other shapes in the background, I think are just kind of like what's getting referenced by that. I don't think we need to worry about those kind of being shaded out there. Just the fact that we have these shapes kind of brightly lit. All right, so that's one sketch. Let's say we're going to do another sketch. We're going to do another sketch, and we're going to do it for, we'll do, I think we have one like wenge. I think that's how you spell that. We're going to hit P for project. I want to get actually I'm going to get all the bodies back in here. And then I just want to pick out the ones that are going to go with that. So maybe this is like a darker one. I think I want these letters to be that. So I'm going to select all the letters. And I mean, it's kind of like a repetitious process, but maybe I'll make the tree trunk like that because the tree trunk should be a little bit dark. I think that'll be enough for that. We're going to say OK. And then let's see if we get rid of, hide those. We can see we got the wenge here. We can see which part's going to be the birch, all that stuff. So we're just going to repeat this process until we have everything in here. I think I want to do one more because I want to make sure that we get the sky in there. So I'm going to say something like this. I don't know, sky is going to be, let's make sky our purple heart. Purple heart. And we'll get all of the bodies back here. We're going to say P for project, and we're going to sketch this background. Now, what I really want to make sure that I'm doing, my concern is I want to make sure that I'm accounting for these letters correctly. So not only do I want to select the background, but I also want these kind of little parts in between here. I think if I select all those and hit finish sketch, let's see, we should be able to get rid of that. If we get rid of these two, we should have that. Okay, now what you should see out of this background, what's kind of interesting about this is like we see the clouds in here, we see the letters in here, like those are all included in the sketch, but you might be thinking, well, I don't really want to cut the letters or the clouds out of Purple Heart. I want to do that out of birch, or I want to do that out of wenge. But the thing is, like, we will need to both we're going to cut the background out of Purple Heart, but we also want to cut out these clouds because we need to have room to put in the birch pieces in there as well. So we need to cut out both the clouds, both like the background and any of the other little parts that will eventually get filled with other types of wood. So I hope that's kind of clear about why that is. All right, finally, so we have eventually, I'm not going to do this process, but we're going to have like all the different sketches in here with all the individual pieces of wood. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to two-finger click on this one or right-click, and we can say Export DXF. So Export DXF will take this sketch and turn it into a file format that the laser cutter can understand through Lightburn. So just hit Export Sketch. I think it should pop up a window, and we're going to say like where we're going to include it on our computer. So I'm going to include this in downloads, which here, I'll make a little folder for us in here. We're going to say downloads. We could do something like make a new one for us. We're going to laser cuts. Okay, and actually I'm going to show you the next step while we're here. So we're going to hit save on that. You could pause for right now to actually do this process. But the final steps include putting this into the cloud and then opening this up on Lightburn. So maybe we can stop there and I'll make the next video covering that.